Recent studies reveal a staggering 76% of women live in chronic survival mode, and it's killing us. It quietly robs you of your potential, your divine essence, your femininity. Instinct might keep you alert, but tapping into your intuition sets you free. It will be the thing that saves your life. Babe, I'm done watching you survive off fumes, okay? Today, we're breaking that chronic panic loop so that you can swap fear for freedom and lean in to your God-given, femininity-driven, thriving mode. The shift from just making it to fully living isn't about ignoring real danger, and it is about recognizing when your alarm bells are keeping you stuck in a vicious loop. Today, I'll share the 6 proven ways that have helped me personally and countless women escape survival mode and step into our feminine power. Give me 20 minutes and you'll have the exact blueprint to move beyond survival and into an abundant, aligned, and fulfilled life. Okay, imagine you have a smoke alarm in your house that goes off at the slightest puff of steam from your shower. That, my friend, is what I'd like to call instinct. Vital for real fires and danger, but exhausting when it keeps blaring over minor triggers. It's protective, it's reactive, it can be overreactive. And look, we needed it back when our ancestors faced daily threats, sometimes from an oppressive regime, for example, harsh weather conditions, or real physical danger. But today, our threats are more often like toxic workplaces and environments, relationship dynamics or drama, or financial stress. And still, our fight or flight system can go freaking haywire just from a rude email or a traffic jam. It don't even take that much. And over time, living in that hypervigilant state can wear you down mentally, emotionally, physically, and especially spiritually. Intuition, on the other hand, is that soft inner knowing. It's that gentle nudge telling you to call a friend at the exact time they need to hear your voice, or to jump on an opportunity that seems a little irrational, but it feels so right in your body. It's subtle, it's powerful, it's alignment. Tapping into your intuition allows you to make decisions guided by a deeper wisdom. And whether you see that as subconscious insight, spiritual guidance, or maybe God Himself, some of the greats have nailed this difference, and that's why they're the greats, right? For example, Steve Jobs, he famously said, intuition is a very powerful thing, more powerful than intellect. That's Steve Jobs saying that. And clearly it's working out well for him. Now, I want to bring this into like real life examples here. So let's say you're at a career crossroads, for example. Instinct will be the thing that shouts, babe, you cannot quit right now. You need the stability. While intuition whispers, this job is draining your soul, babe. Trust that there's something better for you out there, right? Let's say you're in a relationship dilemma. Instinct can make you lash out and fight to protect yourself or feel like you protect yourself. Whereas intuition sees the root cause of the conflict and nudges you to respond with compassion. One mantra that I always live by is villainize the problem, not the person. For health choices, survival-driven anxiety might push you to stress eat or skip a workout, But intuition is the voice that says, take that evening walk, grab a nourishing meal. And self-trust thrives on these small but powerful little nuanced steps. And in this world that applauds nonstop hustling and go, 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 we often forget the feminine principle of receptivity. In those moments of stillness, our intuition, the very core of our feminine power, whispers its truth the loudest. But you have to be willing, open, and ready to receive the message. For ancient and indigenous peoples, and especially our foremothers, instinct meant immediate survival, today's survival, while intuition was revered as the deeper compass guiding major life decisions and that type of thing. And through ritual, community collaboration, and storytelling, they balance the body's alarms with the more subtle voices of the heart, the soul, and the mind. And we know that historically, women were the wiser ones, the midwives, the healers, the spiritual guides, the shamans, trusted for our innate ability to feel and to have the knowing. And it's time that we reclaim that lineage of feminine power, the one that trusts the body signals and the soul's inner voice over logic and thought. Now, let's break it down so you can see their strategy, right? So, observing bodily responses versus subtle signals, for example. Now, an immediate physical reaction is your instinct: fight, flight, or freeze, right? With heightened senses and an adrenaline rush, like something urgent, But a gentle inner prompting is your intuition, a calmer, more consistent sense, like sensing a shift in the weather or a gut feeling about which way to go, what decisions to make for their family. As we all know, dream interpretation, dreams are gateways to hidden knowledge beyond your everyday survival. Looking towards your intuition, towards your higher self, using your ancestors and what you believe in as a higher power to understand and decode that intuitive knowing. Like for rituals and communal decision making, instinctual reactions were quick and they were individual. There was a person, there was a leader, there was an elder that we always go to, right? And that person had the answers. But intuitive guidance was often more communal. So priests, shamans, or elders were interpreting signs from nature, wind patterns, smoke patterns, land patterns, animal movements, so many things. They look to nature to interpret as their intuitive knowing, as their intuitive sense, which is beautiful. Even in the role of trial and error, as they were figuring this kind of thing out, instinct was running from every shadow, but that wastes resources, wastes time. It makes you look weak. Intuition was more watching for signs that often led to more strategic decisions. Now, here's a quick mental exercise I want you to try. Take 10 seconds to recall a time that your quiet inner sense proved right. And then take another 10 seconds to remember when your primal instinct kept you safe. And notice the difference in how each felt in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. So why are so many of us, particularly women, stuck in this perpetual survival mode? Society pressures us. We hustle nonstop. We fear judgment. We fear failure. And we all know Western culture glorifies hustle, efficiency, logic. We're taught slowing down means we'll lose time, money, respect. And you add a little personal trauma, breakups, family chaos, microaggressions at work, and you've got the perfect recipe for a chronic fight or flight cycle. And this could look like a number of ways, like chronic anxiety, just sleep deprivation, or sometimes just the feeling of being stuck. And sometimes we act impulsively just to stop the discomfort. Survival mode, a prolonged state of heightened arousal, becomes harmful when that's your default setting. Elevated heart rate, high cortisol levels, hypervigilance, these tear down your well-being, your creativity, and your femininity. Our bodies were never meant to live on guard mode 24/7. And part of reclaiming your feminine power is honoring your natural cycles, your energy ebbs and flows, your hormonal shifts, all those beautiful things, instead of pushing yourself to sprint all day, every day, go harder, go faster, you tap into a deeper well of creative, intuitive, innate wisdom. That's your feminine power. I want you to comment below. In what areas of your life do you feel like you're just surviving? Maybe your job, your relationship, whatever it is. I want to swap survival stories. Now, research shows that chronic stress spikes your cortisol levels. It disrupts your sleep patterns and it derails your mood-regulating neurotransmitters like serotonin or dopamine. And Deepak Chopra even says, in the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you. But the question really is, how do you find stillness within the hustle? So let's take down the fight, flight, or freeze response, which is your body's natural alarm system for threats, which are great in emergencies, but extremely destructive if it's constantly how you're operating, right? If you're in fight mode, you're ready to defend or confront, If you're in flight mode, this is the urge to escape or to avoid. And if you're in freeze, that's when you're stuck or numb. You feel like you can't move, you can't say anything, you can't find nothing comes to mind, right? Now, short bursts of these responses can be life-saving depending on the situation, but chronic activation leads to fatigue, poor sleep, anxiety, or just general like irritability, you know? So I want you to ask yourself, are you a fighter, a runner, a shutter downer, you know? And self-awareness is that first step to changing your default mode. And I want you to share that in the comments. I want to read. This is why I'm making this video, because I feel like this has become such a problem for women, especially women of color. When you're in chronic stress, you're trapped in this survival mode, you know, it can bring on health issues, for example. High cortisol floods wreck your sleep and then in turn your energy, you know. It has an emotional impact. You can feel disconnected from yourself, from your partner, from your environment, or just perpetually anxious. The good news here is neuroplasticity. All right, I'm going to nerd out for just a second. Now, with mindful habits, gentle risk taking, and better decision making, it is so possible for you to form new neural pathways that foster calm, clarity, and a stronger intuition. Now, your brain is like soft clay, you know, super moldable at any age. And recent research even suggests that we produce around 700 new neurons daily, which means consistent growth is possible at any age, at any stage. And I want to talk a little bit about cortisol versus serotonin. When you're in chronic survival mode, you have high cortisol levels, which blocks your body's ability to produce the feel-good neurotransmitters like serotonin or dopamine. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and it's good in emergencies, but it is harmful when you operate out of that space long term. Now, serotonin, your feel-good chemical, regulates your mood, your happiness, your calmness, the ability to achieve and maintain peace, you know? But if you're always on edge, maybe that toxic job or that tense relationship, you're drowning in cortisol, okay? And long-term stress can damage your health in ways that become life-threatening. You know, and I'm not trying to scare you here, but I do care about you and I care about this message. And I've just witnessed too many of my good sisters burnt out, crashed out, light dim. You know, I need you. The world needs you shining bright and at your fullest potential. You can boost serotonin levels with getting sunlight, with gut-friendly foods, and even a consistent gratitude practice, you know? But it's really about rest. Rest matters more than probably anything that I'll say today. Overworking like completely destroys your serotonin level. So everything that you've built out and then you overwork it, you know, like it doesn't make sense. When you boost your serotonin on the weekend and then go back to a stressful job Monday through Friday, it doesn't balance out, unfortunately. Yes, you have that permission to take a nap. Yes, you can put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Yes, do prioritize yourself over others. Recognize the signs, pause when you can, and scan your body to notice, to observe. When your heart races or your chest is tightening, do a quick little body scan. Close your eyes, inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6, and ask yourself, how are you feeling? Are you being triggered? Are you in actual danger? And then respond accordingly. Act on or take action if it is real danger, and just breathe through the moment if it's not. This quick reset halts the cortisol flood and it just grounds you and gives you a little bit more clarity. Spiritually, intuition is often your higher self speaking. That loving whisper, that babe, there's more for you here, or you're safe on this path, keep going. And whether you call it God, source, universe, or your ancestors, it's always something bigger than fear. We have to remember that we only really have fear, the fear of fear, to fear itself, you know? Many indigenous traditions see the heart as the seat of intuition. And a simple act, a hand on the heart, 3 deep breaths, and just asking for guidance can shift you from survival mode into spiritual clarity. And remember, emotions aren't flaws, they're powerful messengers. Your empathy that you have, that's your feminine superpower. Don't lose that. Embracing these gifts instead of denying them or subduing them is part of the reclamation of your feminine power. That is real superpower. Meditation helps. Journaling helps. Movement helps. Carl Jung said, who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. My biggest breakthroughs came when I stopped searching out there for every answer and just started to look within. I stopped asking everyone for advice, stopped looking at blogs and Googling everything. I even stopped with the self help books, And when I started realizing that I already had the answers, I just had to be willing and able to receive the messages and be open to listen to what I had to say. Life opened up for me in ways that I couldn't even have ever imagined. And I want that for you. I want that for you. Now, let me be clear here. Instinct is not evil. I'm not here to demonize it. It's here to protect us. And I want you to actually practice this. Like literally say, thank you for wanting to keep me safe whenever you feel that like adrenaline rush, I want you to separate the shame and the guilt that's been associated with instinct because again, it's here just as a protective measure. We demonize different parts of ourselves. We are belittling ourselves. We are making ourselves small. We are telling ourselves, our ego, that we are not capable. We cannot trust what our body responds as or what we think, and that's so detrimental to our self-trust, our self-respect, and of course our feminine power. As I mentioned, cultivating a deep relationship with your intuition can be done in very easy steps. And for example, like take little mini pauses throughout the day. Stop for a breath and ask yourself, are you operating out of instinct or intuition? And allow your body to answer here. Body awareness is going to be really key here. So bookmark that. Another really great tip is journaling. Jot down the moments that your intuition felt strong. Give it some context, like paint the picture and the story around it. Patterns will emerge over time, and you'll learn through reflection how to trust yourself faster. You'll notice what situations you were in, what you said, how you responded, what your body was telling you. And again, just building that body awareness. Share with me in the comments. How do panic and like a peaceful knowing feel different in your body? For me personally, when I'm in panic mode, I get that wrenching stomach tightness, I get heartbeat gets faster. I maybe even start to like sweat a little bit, But when I'm in a peaceful knowing, I look at my situation, even if it's not ideal, and I just have this calm sense of peace that I know that everything's going to work out okay. I just have to keep moving. Another thing that they really do not teach us at all is practical decision making. And a really simple strategy is to clarify first, like gather the facts, let your logic and your ego feed off of that. Then check in with yourself and your intuition, right? Breathe here, sense your inner resonance. That's where the real power lies. And then confirm, your next step. Merge that logic with the intuition. And if they're clashing, then maybe go back to the first step and explore a little bit more. But if they align, go ahead, proceed with confidence, with no doubt. And this is what I'm really here for. We're releasing survival mode today, babe, okay, for good. It's time to let go of that constant fight, flight, or freeze. I'm done with it. You're done with it. I'm done with it, And the best part about this is that it costs you nothing. All right. I just need awareness, a little bit of willingness, and a dash of patience from you. Okay. Now use the following things to your own discretion, but these are the things that I know have helped me and many other women. I'm a firm believer in using nature as a teacher, being a student of life, essentially. So go get yourself in some nature. Watch how the trees, how the animals, how the water flows without this perpetual alarm of like needing to be on time to flow to this rock or needing to blow in the wind or nothing like that happens in nature. Okay, the second thing is like us as women, we need community and we need connection. So maybe find some better friends, or better community. Go be around people who are okay with living in their vulnerability. Those are the people that will easily point out when you're slipping into your survival mode and will give you kind of like gentle nudges, gentle little course corrects in the opposite direction, Oftentimes we learn by watching, by experience. And so being around people who are in tune and in touch with their intuition, even if that's watching it here on YouTube, is so beneficial to just resetting the mind, unlearning and relearning at the same time. And as I've mentioned throughout this video, body awareness and tapping into like mind-body techniques is going to be so vital here. Some people use like EFT tapping, I'm not super well versed, but I know that it works. I use breath work. Somatic therapy is beautiful. Movement as medicine. That can be yoga, it could be anything. And honestly, even psychedelics in the right setting and with the right mindset can change your life. I'm telling you right now. What I will leave you with is that you better start somewhere. Start confused, tired, angry. Start. Micro steps count, and taking action is your best logical step. Babe, I know you. You're that multifaceted, brilliant, spiritual, soulful babe. And you're done with frantic living, okay? This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about revealing who you really are and knowing that you already have everything that you need to bloom, to blossom into your highest and best and most feminine essence. Something I've learned is that the loudest voice isn't always the most accurate, okay? Instinct is usually the thing that is like shouting danger, you know, but your intuition is the thing that's going to whisper that divine guidance. You just got to be open to hearing it. And understanding that took me from just, I'm doing my best, babe, and, just getting by, you know what I mean, to truly living, to truly thriving. So if you're still here, thank you and welcome to the tribe. Leave a candle emoji in the comments below so I know that you're around. I want to engage with you and so I know that you're a light. And I just want you to remember, if nothing else in this whole video, I want you to embrace all of you. Embrace both your instinctual protection and your intuitive guidance, okay? I want you to practice all of the things that I mentioned. I'll leave it even in the comments below. Practice, practice, practice. Trust builds through repetition and consistency, but also through failure. Don't be afraid to mess up or take back steps or whatever the case is. You are taking action, and that's more than I can say for a lot of us, you know? And celebrate those wins, celebrate your growth. Each time that you make a decision out of your intuition over your instinct or like panic mode is a huge win for your entire system, and you should be rewarded. So get yourself a little something. Also, understanding the difference between the two, instinct and intuition, it completely dismantles the default settings of this survival mode. Like, definitely honor that primal protective mode, but also awaken your sacred inner compass, because that is what is going to guide you through this life in the most beautiful way. It leads you to purpose and inner peace. This is about integrating who you truly are, body, mind, soul, in all of the ways, so that you show up in the world as your most authentic, empowered, amazing self. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If you found value here today, hit the like, share it with another sister who maybe needs to hear this, and subscribe. Much love to you always. See you in the next video. Peace.